Hi friends, Prepared Suburbanite here. I'm often asked the question, what was it that got me started being a prepper? And as I think back, it was really the political climate that was going on in our country back in probably 2012 or so. It's about when I really became concerned enough to say, I really got to start preparing for the worst to come. But it was really the political climate that got me very, very concerned. So comparing that climate then to this climate today, as we're looking at the 2020 election, I've got some thoughts I want to share with you. So for me and today, the question seems to be, how much are you willing to sell your vote for? As I look at the different Democrats and their platforms and their current campaign promises, I become extraordinarily concerned, because all they're really doing is pandering to those folks that are looking for something free. They're talking about free health care. They're talking about universal basic income. They're talking about free college tuition. They're talking about Medicare for all, guaranteed minimum incomes. They're talking about a higher minimum wage, from the federal standpoint. How much free stuff can you possibly offer to the American voting public that's going to get them to vote for you? And that's really what seems to be driving today's political climate. The campaign for the 2020 presidency, the national elections, is going full force. Now that we've got Joe Biden in the fight, there may be a couple more notables that are going to join up as time goes by, but I think the slate of some 20 or 22 Democrat candidates for a single position on the Democrat Party platform, we're talking Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris. Those are, in my view, the kind of front runners. There may be some other folks out there that are going to get some notable press. That's Mayor Pete Buttigieg from Indiana there, or is it Illinois? I don't know, can't remember. Fort Wayne, I don't know. But they're going to get some press, but they're also going to be making some very interesting promises and very interesting campaign pledges. And it's all about offering a bribe to the thinking and voting public. Those folks are asking, are promising to give you free stuff if you vote for them. I haven't heard any real rhetoric about the real issues that are facing this country. I'm talking about economics. I'm talking about the job situation. I'm talking about the infrastructure that needs to be addressed. I'm talking about border security. I'm talking about defense. There's not any rhetoric going on coming from the Democrat side that are going to address any of those kinds of things. But what they want to do is pander to the crowd and give you free stuff if you vote for them. Well, I'm also concerned that underneath that kind of an agenda, which I'm not sure they're ever going to be able to pull off, is their real hidden agenda, even though some of them have come right out and said it. They're going to destroy the Constitution by taking away the Second Amendment. they're going to figure out a way to make sure that the Second Amendment no longer protects our individual rights for self-defense and against tyranny. It's already been promised. Kamala Harris has already said that if Congress doesn't act within her first 100 days of being the president, that she's going to enforce, through an executive order, very strict gun control measures. How she's going to do that, I have no idea, but it certainly sounds like a campaign promise that we need to be prepared for. Other folks are dealing with promises of doing away with the Electoral College. There's another one. See, if they can't win with a set of rules that are already out there and have been in place for 100 plus years, if they can't win in that environment, then what they want to do is change the rules. And that's what they want to do with the Electoral College. I don't think it's got anything to do with the Electoral College. I think it's just because they put up a very poor candidate last time around in the form of Hillary Clinton that did not do well. She did not campaign well. She did not have the right kind of a message that said that she was in touch with the voting public. So that's why they lost. It wasn't because of the Electoral College. It's because she didn't campaign the right way. Donald Trump did. He was in all those states. He was pushing and pushing and pushing, and he never let down his guard. He never took anything for granted, and he pulled it off in the Electoral College. But if they're successful in doing away with the Electoral College, it's still going to come down to the candidate with the best message. And the best message in 2016 came from Donald Trump, certainly did not come from Hillary Clinton, and that's why he got elected. Doesn't matter if it was the Electoral College or if it's popular vote. The campaign strategy would have been slightly different, but he would have been out there beating the bushes to get that popular vote if that's what it takes to become the president, and that's what he would have done. He played by the rules. He knew the Electoral College. He knew how it worked. He knew the importance of all the states and how they fit together. That's why he won. Other things that the Democrats are pushing for on the 2020 campaign trail is to pack the Supreme Court. Well, yeah, I know what that means. That means that once you get into power and you've got control over both the Senate and the House, and you've got a Democrat sitting in the seat of the president, that you can push Democratic thinking, left-leaning type candidates and propose rules, enact different changes to the Constitution that would expand the number of Supreme Court justices from its current level at 9 up to maybe 15 or 17, something like that, and then just pack it full of left, liberal thinking, Democrat supporting justices. They don't seem to see the irony there, but we'll see what happens with that. But be on your guard out there, folks. These folks are absolutely and deadly serious about wanting to change our political climate. The other thing that I've heard proposed is the 16-year-old vote. Now, nobody's any more malleable in their thinking process than a 16-year-old kid. They don't have the life experience. They're exposed to all the liberal thinking that they're getting in these public schools. It's really, really a dangerous precedent for to even consider a 16-year-old to vote. Any place else, they've got to be of legal age. And legal age in this country is 18 years old. Before you can enter a contract, before you can do a lot of things. Yeah, you can drive a car at 16 in many states, But that doesn't mean that you've reached the age of majority, that you're actually able to put coherent thought to an election decision because you don't have the life experience yet. Another very dangerous thought that's coming out of this 2020 campaign. So back to that original question, what's your vote really going to be worth? If you're willing to trade liberty, if you're willing to trade your freedom, if you're willing to give it all away for free stuff, Medicare for all, free college tuition, plus all the wonderful things that go with it, like the abolishment of the Second Amendment, go ahead and vote your conscience. But if you really think about the bottom line here, what has made America great is our ability to ensure freedom and liberty for all. This is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always, and I'll see you all on the next video.